Hello, everyone. Just wait a few minutes here while we get everybody in. Okay. Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming to our February town hall. We'll go ahead and get started as people kind of join in here. Welcome. We thank you for joining us. This is the February town hall. We have with us tonight our whole team. We have Matt Phippen, the ride director. We have Hayden Meister, our event operations manager. We have me, Carson Groff, the event operations manager as well. AP, our marketing director. Corey Much, our creative director. And Erica Detterman, our registration and merchandise manager. So everyone's here tonight to answer. Erin is at a different event this weekend, but she is here in spirit. So we're just gonna talk about the ride tonight, go over some things that have come up, some common questions, and we also have Evan here from Chain Reaction Bike Hub in Cedar Rapids to kind of talk about his bike shop. Last in January, we highlighted Iowa City, and this month we are highlighting Cedar Rapids. So we'll get started. If you didn't get a chance to register for the Q&A when you logged in, go ahead and scan the QR code and you can register some more questions. We will also be in the Q&As answering any questions that might come up throughout the whole presentation. And AP and Erica and Corey will be in there making sure all your questions get answered. And yeah, so I'll leave this here for a second and let everybody in if you need to register for some Q&A. All right. So also another QR code to scan to sign up for our newsletter. We send out that every month where we answer some questions, talk about some upcoming sales, talk about registration, have a RAGBRAI countdown, and also do a bike shop newsletter or bike shop highlight within that newsletter as well. So if you guys want to register for that, it's awesome. And we'll go ahead and get started with Matt about some route updates. All right, Matt, take it away.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. We will dive into the route from a very, very high level. We released the route at the end of January. It was in person and we streamed it too at Vibrant Music Hall. So if you were in attendance, it was great having you there. If you watched it online, next time we'd love to see you in person. So make sure you come and visit us. So let's dive in. So day 0, Saturday, July 18th, we will start our ride in Ottawa. Ottawa has hosted in 1977, 1983, 1987, 2004, 2018, and then 2026. Ottawa has a population of 2,800 people. At that day 0, there will be our large expo, our RAGBRAI newbies meeting, which we usually do 2 of those, and a support driver meeting. So that'll be kind of the kickoff to the event, and that starts on that Saturday. We will slowly make our way to that next town, but I found some fun facts about Ottawa. It's the birthplace of the Eskimo pie. And this team was going back and forth whether the Eskimo pie was a pastry or if it was some type of ice cream. So we're trying to learn and figure that out. They have a 150-foot wide main street, which is pretty incredible to see. and they are located near the Les Hills. So you'll be able to see a different side of Iowa after leaving Ottawa. So that is day 0. Day 1 will take us into Harlan. That day is 58.5 miles and 3,465 feet of climb. So shorter first day being 60 miles, but a lot of elevation right out of the gate. So looking at how it breaks down, you're going to climb roughly about 59 feet for every mile that you ride. So make sure you're getting your hill miles in. Harlan is hosted in 1977, 1983, 1987, 2004, 2018, and again in 2026, and has a population of 4,896. Harlan is the county seat for Shelby County. It was founded in 1858, and it is home of Tiny Lund, who won the Daytona 500 in 1963. So it's kind of a cool thing there. We will head down the road and make our way towards Guthrie Center on day 2, July 20th. Guthrie Center has hosted in 1974, 1983, and 2026. They've been passed through towns a couple of times, but the last time they hosted riders was 1983, so a while ago. It is going to be the hilliest day of the week, 3,554 feet of climb at 54 miles. So you're going to be going up and down a lot, and it's roughly about 66 feet for every mile that you ride. So looking at Guthrie Center, it's named after Captain Edwin B. Guthrie, and he is known for protecting $350,000 in gold and silver for that area. It is the county seat, and it beat out Panora, which is a town outside of Guthrie, by popular vote. So some fun facts there. Day 3, we will leave Guthrie Center and make our way towards Boone on July 21st, 59.5 miles, and a little bit less hills to be climbing, 1,503. So the first 2 days, you're going to be in that 7,000 feet of climb, and then it slowly gets a little bit easier for you after you get past Guthrie Center. Boone has hosted in 1973, 1975, 76, 88, 98, 2008, 2011, and 2018. One of our bigger communities, they're over 12,000 in population. And that day being, less elevation, you're going to climb about 25 feet for every mile that you ride. Fun facts about Boone: first ever Casey's General Store opened in 1968. And they tie a lot of things into the railroad so that you can actually pedal railroad cars around the community if you want to that day too. So we look forward to testing those out on our pre-ride. Marshalltown coming up next, day 4, July 22nd, 62.2 miles, 1,563 feet of climb. Marshalltown has hosted in 74, 94, 04, 2012, and again in 2026. They are second largest with population of 27,886. Some fun facts about Marshalltown: they have a very diverse community. They're home of the Lennox International Company, and they have a restaurant called the Flying Elbow that is based on professional wrestling. So it's pretty cool. We're gonna go check that out. And apparently they had one of the top-rated burgers voted on. So we're excited for the burgers there. We will leave Marshalltown and have the longest day of the week going into Independence. 81.4 miles, 2,700 plus feet of climb. Like I said, it is a longer day, but you can't celebrate America without going to Independence. So we're going to go see Independence. Some fun facts about Independence: it's home of the Wapsipinicon Mill. It's a 5-story mill that's located on the river there. In the 1800s, they were the horse racing mecca. And in 1860, they raised their Main Street 10 to 12 feet because of all the flooding. So a lot of those buildings on Main Street have basements in them. That is kind of a unique thing. So like I said, a longer first day. Independence is hosted in 1982, 1989, 2007, 2014, and they have a population of 6,357. Heading out of Independence on day 6, we're going to make our way towards Dyersville, July 24th, 42.2 miles, 1,400 feet of climb. So a little bit shorter day for you guys. Still, you're going to deal with about 34 feet for every mile that you climb. Dyersville has hosted in 1983, 1989, 1993, 2007, 2010, and they have a population of roughly about 4,600 people. This will be one of the flattest days of the entire week. Fun facts about Dyersville. In 1989, a baseball movie was made called The Field of Dreams, which is with Kevin Costner. And there's a line in that movie that is this heaven? And the answer is no, it's Iowa. So we'll be able to see the Field of Dreams. They have right now a building that's going up, a new stadium, MLB stadium. They've spent millions of dollars to build an MLB stadium located next to the old baseball field. And they are the farm toy capital of the world. Not Iowa, the world. So we're going to be able to check out that too. It's been a while since we've been back to Dyersville, but we're super excited to get there. We will then make our way towards the last town en route. Day 7, we'll head towards Dubuque, July 25th, 2026, 33.7 miles. It's not every year we can have a very short distance on that last day, so you guys can return to a reality, but we do give it to you on this day. Dubuque is hosted in 1974, 1983, 1993, and then 2010. They are our largest community en route with almost 60,000 people living there, but it will be truly the shortest day of the entire week. Still some elevation, so 1,700 feet of elevation. So for every mile, you're going to climb about 52 feet. So some fun facts about Dubuque. It is Iowa's oldest city, founded in 1833. It's home of the Shot Tower. 1856, that building was built, and they dropped molten lead to create cannonballs and bullets. And it sits on the Mississippi River where Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois all meet. So it'll be a great end to our entire week. So if you look at the total miles, 391.4 miles, over 16,000 feet of climb. My challenge to you right now is do not sleep on this route and think it's going to be easy. There's a lot of elevation every day, and they're short days, so we're going to pack a lot of hills into each day. Looking at the total elevation per mile, you're going to be climbing about 41 feet for every mile you ride across the state. The average elevation is 2,285 feet. Keep in mind, the first 2 days have 7,000, so it definitely drops off after that. So my challenge to you right now is get on your bike, ride, and we will see you in July. We will release our full route April 3rd. So if you're kind of determining where we go, all those dots will be revealed on the April 3rd with all our maps being shared. And then we will start meeting with those towns that are en route. So we look forward to seeing you in July. I will turn it over now to Evan with Chain Reaction. Take it away, Evan. Maybe he's on mute. I don't know.
There we go. Hey, thanks, guys. Super excited to be here. So yeah, my name is Evan Schmidtke. I'm the executive director of Chain Reaction Bike Hub right here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I'm not in the shop now. I'm actually in my day job. This is golfing cyclery in Cedar Rapids. So if you notice the bikes, yeah, a different bike shop, same city. But yeah, just super excited. We're the youngest community bike shop out of the crew that RAGBRAI is supporting this year. And so I thought this is an awesome opportunity to not only introduce, I think, the state of Iowa and the cycling community to Chain Reaction, but the greater RAGBRAI community as well. So if you want to go to the next slide. So we were established in January of 2024. So like I said, as the youngest community shop, hadn't been around super long. So in the picture you see here, it was taken in September of 2023. This is just various members of the Cedar Rapids community, local stakeholders that are still very active in the organization currently, but big supporters right out of the gate. Organizations like Linn County Public Health, Cedar Rapids, Linn County Solid Waste, the city of Cedar Rapids, along with all the local bike shops, local universities, just an immense amount of initial support back in 2023 that really got this off the ground very, very quickly. So could not be where we are today without the massive support that we had. Yeah. So next slide. So the spring of, I'm sorry, December of 2023, we actually moved into our space. So we converted a warehouse in the southwest side of Cedar Rapids, actually the Taylor neighborhood. And it was just this massive empty space. We originally had it to just store our bikes and realized that it would actually make a really compelling bike shop. And so with a massive volunteer effort, we put the call out as a new organization trying to round up volunteers. We didn't know what that would look like. Overwhelmed with support, donations, folks coming in and building stuff, dropping bikes off, dropping building materials off. And within a couple months, we had converted that space into what looked like a pretty functioning bike shop, which is still kind of wild to think about. So, yeah, next slide. So our grand opening was May of 2024. So we actually opened up the doors to the community. We sold our very first bike that day. So like all of the other community bike shops, we receive donated bikes. They're refurbished, and then resold back in to the community, and that's what actually supports the growth and the impact that we've had locally. But yeah, we were able to kind of hit the ground running. Had a grand opening event, invited in the community, had lots of support right out of the gate, and in that very first year, we actually sold 106 bikes. We're able to donate 130. We recycled 8.5 tons of scrap metal. And we hosted 12 community workshops and led 20 group rides in that very first year. So it wasn't even a full calendar year. It was May through that December. And it was just a wild ride. But yeah, so that was the grand opening. Super fun. Still think back very fondly on that event. So yeah, next slide. I'm fast forwarding a lot. I recognize that a lot happened in that year, but we did celebrate our 1-year anniversary just this past year in May of 2025. Super busy year. Like I mentioned, lots of growth, lots of impact in the community, lots of learning as well. I think being a newer nonprofit, I'm sure anybody who's worked in that sector, there's loads of growing pains, and I think you're sort of figuring out how you can best serve your community, what resources you need, what resources you have, and then how to grow a rich volunteer base. Chain Reaction is a completely volunteer-run organization, so we don't have any paid staff, including my role. So yeah, we would not be here without the amazing volunteers. And so at this 1-year anniversary event that we hosted last May, we celebrated our volunteers. We had a big recognition ceremony for them, just acknowledging that, yeah, that year would not have happened without them. We would not have had the immediate impact on the community that we did. Yeah, so that was year one. So next slide. So I keep talking about growth and impact, and those are just some words that sort of come to me lately, but 3 other words that really stand out in terms of how we really approach the mission of the organization are accessibility, sustainability, and then community. So I'd love to kind of walk folks through kind of what that's meant over the past couple of years and what that's going to mean kind of going forward. So next slide. Maybe the other way. There we go. So when I talk about accessibility, I'm really talking about how do we get bikes into the hands of folks that maybe couldn't afford one. Maybe there's a financial barrier, maybe there's another barrier. And so we've got some free bike programs, 4 of them listed there, that really remove those barriers for folks to get on a bike. So the first is our Earn a Bike program. All we do is we invite folks in. If you volunteer 12 hours with us, you can earn a bike. And then the idea is that you partner with some of our dedicated volunteers and you get that bike fixed up, you get it tuned up. You are sort of a part of that refurbishing process. So there's some learned skill that comes out of that. Yeah, and then you leave with a fully functional tuned up bike after 12 hours. What's very cool is we see a lot of these folks that are plugging in with our Earn a Bike program continue volunteering up to this day, being part of the organization, which is really the goal. So Our Youth on Wheels is a relatively new project. It's effectively the Earn a Bike program, but for the youth. And so we're inviting them in small groups and doing the exact same thing. We're teaching them, how to do some basic maintenance on the bike, but also some soft skills, some team building. I think all the things that, not everybody maybe gets as a youth, and we can kind of be a part of that and kind of do it under the umbrella of working on bikes. So super cool. The third program you see there is our Cycle for Change program. We have a lot of dedicated local organizations that do amazing work for various populations here locally. And so we partnered with many of them. And the Cycle for Change program is as easy as some of these partner organizations can submit a referral, and we will find a bike that fits the need, and then we connect the bike with the client, and they're off and running. So again, removing the barrier as quickly as possible, getting these folks on a bike. A lot of the people that are getting the bikes through our Cycle for Change program are folks that need a bike primarily for transportation, to get to work, to get to the doctor's office, to get across town. We have an amazing trail network here, and so we want to make sure that everybody is able to utilize it. And one way that we can do that is by hooking them up with a bike. And then our Bikes for Kids program, maybe my favorite. It really is easy. It really is as easy as folks just applying for a free bike, and as long as our kids' bike inventory meets the need, they will get a free bike. And so it could not be easier. We get a lot of kids' bikes donated, and so we want to make sure that we can get those back out in the community. They don't end up in a landfill. They get a second lease on life. And what's cooler than handing a new bike to a kid? Best feeling. So next slide. So sustainability, another big pillar, chain reaction. I wanted to present some numbers. This is for 2025. So we have an incredible relationship with Cedar Rapids, Linn County Solid Waste, along with a local recycling organization. And so over the course of this past year, we sold 250 bikes. We donated 251. 12 tons of scrap metal was recycled. 1,100 pounds of rubber was recycled, and 3,500 bikes were diverted from a landfill. And so we get bikes from various places, from the community, from the landfill itself. They will bring bikes that have been dropped off. The police department will bring us bikes. So we get a lot of bikes rolling in the shop, and none of them leave there without some purpose, either being resold, refurbished, or recycled. So all of our rubber, we partner with Schwalbe Tires, and they have an amazing program where we can send them all of our tires and all of our tubes, and they will recycle them for free. So that costs us nothing, of course. And then everything else that comes into the shop, it ends up finding its way towards some sort of in that does not involve the landfill, which is super exciting. So yeah. And then next slide. It's all about community building. So I think out of the three, this is the one that we're really championing, I think, heading into this year. And this is just a sample of the things that we've got sort of teed up for this year. But some of the highlights of the community events, I wish I could go into detail. I know I only have like 15 minutes, but some highlights, certainly our community workshops. We host at least 2 a month. That can be as easy as, teaching folks how to fix a flat tire. Last month we did one on how to adjust brakes, and we want to make sure that people feel empowered to do a trailside maintenance, maybe some maintenance at home, help their buddies fix their bikes. And so about every other week we invite the community into the shop, and then myself or some of our amazing volunteers get a chance to interact with these folks and teach them some skills. So super exciting. And we host group rides. We partnered with a couple local businesses, and throughout the spring and summer, and even in the fall this past year, we had group rides leaving every Thursday from the Newbold Market, which is just, I'm pointing this way because it is right behind me. But we lucked out. I think there was maybe one date that it actually rained. Otherwise, it was just beautiful weather in the entire summer. Maybe a few hot days, but otherwise, had a huge turnout for those group rides, and we're excited to keep that streak going this year. And we have our FTWN nights, which are Mondays. And so we invite some folks into our shop to spend time really about community building. And that's been a new project that we've launched just this past year. So super excited to see that one take off as well. Community bench is a new one for us. We have some workbenches set aside for folks to come in. They can work on their own bikes. They can partner up with some of our volunteer mechanics and learn some skills, and also get their bikes fixed right there in the shop. Last year, we hosted our first fall harvest ride. So we took folks kind of out and about up through the rural countryside, and then we took them out to Bloomsbury Farm, which is this incredible, which I just learned about. I don't know if you guys are sleeping on Bloomsbury Farm or not, but it's amazing. It's this incredible, almost like theme park, not too far from Cedar Rapids. And so we stopped at a couple smaller farms on the way out there, and then Bloomsbury kind of rolled out the red carpet for us. And that's where we ended the ride. But we're excited to keep that streak going this year as well. We partnered with Goldfinch for Cranksgiving, which is just an incredible event. So yeah, just another one that I would love to invite the community in the shop, be a part of. And last but not least, I left this last because this is a plug. So next month we're hosting our second annual CR Bike Swap. So if anybody's in town or you want to make the drive, we open up the shop. It's kind of like a yard sale for your stuff. Bring your bikes, bring your gear, and you can get a table and sell it at the shop. So yeah, just a small sampling of how we're engaged with the community, and trying our best to kind of meet the needs here in Cedar Rapids. So yeah, I mentioned this earlier, but I had to call it out here too. The kids bike drive and holiday party is probably the pinnacle of the year. It was our very first event that we ever hosted, and in fact we hosted it before we even had our shop space, and we hosted it here at Goldfinch back in December of 2023. But we invite the community into the shop, and they do all the work. So we have loads of bikes that need attention. We ask for donations throughout the year, and we kind of stockpile them, and then the community comes in, and with the help of our local bike shops, our volunteer mechanics, we refurbish all these kids bikes. And this past year we had 150 bikes that were donated, refurbished on this one day, and then donated back out to the community through various organizations, and then through individuals. So, and just a cool event. So excited to do it this year. It's grown every single year. I think the first year we did 60 bikes, and we thought that was a lot. And then the next year we did 100, and we thought, whoa, this is getting bigger. And then this past year was 150. We had to cut it off, like we ran out of bikes. So good problem to have, but I'm certainly planning on scaling it for 2026 for sure. So cool. I have to shout out our volunteers. Like any community bike shop in the state, we're all people powered. So this past year, this incredible team of volunteers, this is just a small sampling, logged 4,600 volunteer hours in the shop, which is just, it's still hard to think about. But so grateful to have the team of volunteers that we have. So we had 175 total volunteers on our roster in 2025. 106 volunteers joined the crew last year, which is still blowing my mind. About 44 unique volunteers, so individual volunteers, plugged into the shop at some point each month. And about 385 volunteer hours per month were logged. So it's still, yeah, we just continue to see the volunteers show up. In fact, we joked last week, we had actually it was this week, we have open volunteer nights every Tuesday night, and there had to have been 20 people there. Like, it was an incredible turnout. We were running out of things for them to do. Like, we're kind of in the state where big projects are happening, and like a lot of the smaller projects are kind of complete. And so there was a lot of, just sort of chatter about how amazing it is to kind of stand around and just get to know each other one night, because there wasn't a lot of work to be done. But certainly that's going to ramp up here very shortly. So 44 earner bike participants joined that joined that program last year, and then 14 of them actually earned their bike, which is super exciting for us too. So yeah. Cool. So what's up for 2026? So I think a lot. So sustainability and growth are some words that we keep kicking around. We're excited to launch a mobile neighborhood workshop series. So we're taking these community workshops that currently exist in our within the four walls of the shop, and we're going to plug them into some neighborhoods here in Cedar Rapids. So super excited to kind of do a little road show. I'm going into some neighborhoods that are maybe underserved or that could use a little help getting folks on bikes, and so we're excited to be a part of that. We've set a lofty goal, but I think we can achieve it to donate 2 bikes for every one sold. That was kind of the original goal that we were targeting a couple years ago, and I think if we're going to do it, this is certainly the year to do it. We're expanding the community bench program, so now we've got 1 bench. Very soon we're going to have 3 through some grants and some other various donations that we received locally. We're expanding that program. And then last but not least, broadening and deepening our community partnerships. We continue to be overwhelmed by the support, not just locally, but regionally. And then, of course, being part of RAGBRAI this year is just, it means the world to us. Again, as a very new startup nonprofit, to just see the support this community has given us right out of the gate, and in turn being able to share that with the city of Cedar Rapids. So, like I said from the get-go, just super grateful to be a part of the behemoth that is RAGBRAI this year. Just very excited as a former rider. It's just very cool to sit here and talk to you guys and to share our story with all these cyclists on this call. It's very exciting. So thank you for giving me the time.
Thank you, Evan. That was awesome. We're happy to have you. And now we're going to jump to Erica and talk a little bit about registration.
Thanks, Carson. So we obviously Matt spoke earlier about how we announced the route at the end of last month. And with that always comes following the our second price increase of the year. So at the end of this month, on February 28th, that'll be the last day to get your registration in for the lowest price tier. And then on March 1st, it'll go up to $275 for week-long riders. And then we'll have a couple more price increases before registration is closed for the year. We're doing a soft close this year. So that means all the way up until the end of May, if you register, we'll guarantee that we'll mail your packet to you. And if you register June 1st or after, you'll have to pick it up at the expo in Ottawa. So we'll get all of those details over to you. Typically, packet pickup is between 12 to 9 o'clock, the Saturday before the ride kicks off. And we just went and visited Ottawa, so getting all of those details about what buildings we'll be in the next coming months. And then we have our refund schedule posted here. So if you have something pop up and you're not able to join us, if you ask for a refund through the end of this month, you'll get a full refund minus our processing fees. Next month, it will be 75% minus our processing fees. And then after June 1st, we're not doing no refunds. We also have the unmotive protection plan. That's kind of a third-party thing, but that is something if you qualify for, if you have a medical emergency or if work pops up saying you can't take the time off and you qualify for under that, they give you a full refund. So that's always something good if you haven't registered yet, to check and see what qualifies for that and to purchase that when you register. And then also in June this year, we are bringing wristband transfers back. So keep an eye then if you're a little bit late to getting registered.
One thing before we move on is I just also wanted to say you can donate to the bike shops when you register, and you can also go to our website and donate individually. So we have seen some amazing donations already, and we're happy to see that grow every single day. But yeah, check out our website, and we'll post a link with the town hall as well. So sorry, Erica.
That's all right. Correct. And then vehicle passes are also open for purchase right now when you register. Those are something that as we go through each community, we make sure they have capacity. So we want to have capacity for our smallest community this year. So if you know for sure every year you bring your pickup truck with you or your team brings their bus, we always recommend getting that vehicle pass early. There's no upcharge for getting it later, but we want to make sure you have it if you know you're going to need it, because we have a limited amount of vehicles we want to bring into these overnight communities. So standard vehicle pass is $45. That's for like your typical everyday vehicle, car, pickup truck, SUV. A large is going to be a smaller RV, a 15-passenger van, or a box truck up to 25 feet long. And then we have our extra large, which is up to 45 feet, and then our oversized is 45 plus. Hopefully none of you have any more than one of those vehicles out there. but all of that will be available and that will be shipped out with your registration packets. And exciting news, our team just started shipping out our registration merchandise. So if you've already registered either in November, December, January, all of those guys are starting to get shipped out. So you'll receive a tracking label from us via stamps.com with your registration merchandise. We recommend you guys trying it on, making sure it fits, that you have the right size, and then get started trading in it. If you don't have the right size or you want to exchange for something a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, you can email us and ask us for a return and exchange slip. We want to make sure we get that all taken care of on the ride so you can enjoy it all the way up until the ride. And then one thing I forgot to say with that, if your address has changed, since you registered, go ahead and email us at info@ragbrai.com because we want to make sure that we're getting your packet, both your merchandise packet and your wristband packet, shipped out to the right address. Thank you, Carson. And then we've got some fun sales coming up this weekend. We're kicking tomorrow off with our Valentine's Day BOGO accessory sale. So that's buy one, get one 50% off. So there are socks in there, Bondi bands, all sorts of different fun accessories for you guys. And then on the 16th, we're kicking off our President's Day sale. This year it's 20% off site-wide. Our only exclusion is on that special edition bug jersey we came out this year that has the bug car and then all of the overnight towns on it. So it's a super cool jersey, but not a part of the sale. If you like it though, I do recommend ordering it because we'll get those shipped out to everybody in April. And then I think I'm going to kick this over to you, AP.
All right, I'm here to tell you about the RAGBRAI Rider checklist. We made this little checklist in case you're a newbie rider or maybe a veteran who just wants to make sure that you've crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's as you're getting ready for RAGBRAI. So I think maybe the Q&A is not working, but I'm going to paste the link to it just in case, and I will also share it on Facebook when I post the recap video on YouTube of this presentation. So you should be able to see it a couple different ways, or you can find it in my most recent ragbrai.com blog in the top 10 tips for February. It's also in there and you can find it. It's a really great way just to make sure that you're on track and ready to go for RAGBRAI. And we go month by month. You did miss November until January, but that's okay. It's not too late because we go all the way to July. So check out our rider checklist. I think it's a really nice tool just to make sure that you're ready to go for RAGBRAI because there's a lot of stuff to remember. And I'm going to kick it off to, I believe, Hayden.
Thank you, AP. So along with a rider checklist, and especially the new rider checklist, a lot of the popular questions we get most of the time is, how do I do RAGBRAI? So many of you in here might be RAGBRAI veterans that have done it many times, and some of you might be rookies that are doing it for the first time. So I'm going to kind of cover the basics as well as a few new options we have available in terms of making your life easier to come and join us in July. So to do RAGBRAI from the most basic level, you show up in the start town one way or another. We'll get into a few ways here in a minute, and get dropped off. You have your bike, you've got your bag, you've got your tent. You set up your tent, enjoy the expo on day 0, wake up on Sunday, and ride that first day. You'll grip. And once you get to that first campground, set up your tent, repeat the process, and you'll throw your bags on the RAGBRAI baggage trucks. Grab them from the RAGBRAI baggage trucks, and it's kind of on you to make sure that you've got your bag and your tent set up every day, and that's your traditional way that you do RAGBRAI. There are many other ways to get across the state. Everyone has their own way of doing it. We've really seen a lot of options develop here over the last decade or so, and everyone's got their own way. There's no right or wrong. So one way that we have made things a little bit easier, because nobody knows how to get their car from the end town after you get dropped off in the start town. How do I get back to where my car's at, where I started? One of the new options we've partnered with in the last year, and they're coming back this year, is Mr. Car Shipper. And you can see them pictured kind of in the top left. So you sign up with this service before the ride. You park your car in Ottawa this year. you enjoy RAGBRAI for the week, don't have any worries about it, and when you show up in Dubuque, you will have your car sitting there waiting for you. You can load up and be on your way. This was a new service we offered last year. The people that did take advantage of it really enjoyed it. We had some really good testimonials in terms of the Mr. Car Shipper service. So if you're interested in that, we have more information about that on our website. Another way that you can do the ride is via friends or families. So if you go to Ottawa this year and your wife or husband or best friend or daughter or dad, anybody that wants to come with you, but doesn't want to ride the ride, they can drop you off in Ottawa. You do RAGBRAI and they'll go with you along the route in a car or an RV, some other vehicle, and they transport your bags for you. So as you're doing the ride, they drive to the next overnight town. They meet you there, find your camp spot. You meet up with them, and they have all your bags in your camp tent and everything right there for you. And you can set up, enjoy the night together, and then the next morning get up and do the same thing. That's a really popular way, and we've really seen a lot of RVs. So in that bottom left picture, you can see kind of the regular cars of people pulling out their equipment, getting ready for their riders to arrive. And in the back, you can see kind of an RV sneaking over to its parking spot. So lots of different ways to be able to do RAGBRAI, whether you're doing it on your own in the baggage truck or if you have friends or family supporting you along the way. And then another way to do it is charter services. So our charter services, we'll get into detail here. And if Carson could flip to the next slide for me. So what is a charter? A charter is essentially an additional group that provides additional support services along the week for you. So you do your RAGBRAI registration, that gets you your bag onto the baggage truck. It gets you designated camping in the campground areas that we have. You get access to all our services like SAG and State Patrol and all the kaibos and porta potties and everything else that gets used along the way. But some people want a little bit more luxury, or maybe they have a group that they really like to ride with and they want to stay with them and they've been doing it for 10, 15 years. Maybe somebody's doing it on their own and they're looking for a group that they can do it with for the next 10, 15 years. That's where a charter can come into play. So they provide all sorts of options, anywhere from a la carte to all-inclusive. So you can see a few of the options there listed. Transportation to and from RAGBRAI, whether that's from a major city that's kind of close, like Des Moines, Chicago. I know some come from St. Louis or Kansas City. So if you're flying in, you can look at some of those options, and they can get you to the start town. Or if you drive to the end town, you can meet some of the charters there. They'll load you up on a couple buses, drive you over to the start town, and then as you ride, your car will be in the end town waiting for you as you finish the week. Some of them provide daily tent and baggage services. So rather than using the RAGBRAI baggage trucks, you would use your charter baggage services. Some of them just transport your bags. Some of them you can rent a tent from them for the week, but you have to set it up. Some of them you can rent a tent from them and they'll set it up for you. It's really choose your own adventure when it comes to how luxurious you want to get. And then you can also have access to exclusive use of showers and toilets. Some provide showers, some use the RAGBRAI showers, but every charter provides their own toilets. And then some along the way will also provide different services like meals. Some will have beer or drinks at night, charging stations, charging blocks. They have social hours and different gatherings and parties along the way. So it's really just a unique way to be able to enjoy the ride. Like I said, the good old-fashioned way is doing the RAGBRAI baggage trucks and setting everything up on your own, and then charters have really become more popular here over the years, and can be a good advantage for you if you're looking for a few more amenities along the week. And you can scan that QR code there as well. That will take you to our charter website page if you're interested in looking at more information on some of the charters that we work with and some of the services that they provide. And here's just a kind of a quick showing of what I just recapped. So on the left, you see kind of what a registered rider gets included with the registration. And then on the right, you have what a charter can provide in those different areas, such as setting up your bags or transporting your bags or setting up your tents, transporting you to and from the start and end towns. So those are an additional cost on top of the registration for RAGBRAI riders. Some are little on the cheaper end that are a little bit rougher. Some are a little more on the expensive end that are a little bit more luxurious. But there's really options from bottom to top. It just depends on what you're looking for and how you want to enjoy your week that week. So a lot of good options. Really recommend checking those out, and appreciate all the charters that help us out along the week and provide good services for our riders every single day.
Okay, so now we have a little bit of time for some Q&A. Also, our next town hall is going to be March 12th, 6:30 p.m. So we hope you guys will all join us there. We'll cover a few different things, and we are aware that maybe our Q&A is not working right now. So if you have any questions that we haven't answered tonight, please go ahead and email any of us or email info@ragbrai.com or our customer service, Erin@ragbrai.com. So sorry about the Q&A, but we're all happy to answer any emails. I am going to say a few, questions that we've gotten from the pre-registration. So one we got is, do you guys have any training tips for RAGBRAI since we're about 6 months out? What do you guys think?
I like to kick this one off. We just posted our training series, the RAGBRAI training series, hosted by Coach Ertl. Coach Ertl has been our official training coach since 2009, I believe. So he's really experienced. He knows a lot about RAGBRAI. He's a certified coach with USA Cycling, so he knows his stuff. But every year he puts out a training plan where it goes week by week, and you can decide exactly or see exactly how much he recommends to ride tailored to this year's RAGBRAI. And you can find that at ragbrai.com/training. And again, I'll post that link when I share the recap of this town hall later tonight. But that's my number one training tip. My number two training tip is ride hills.
Corey, Matt?
Yeah, I can echo that. But just ride your bike. That's one of the biggest things. The more miles you ride now, the bigger your smile will be in July. AP and Murph lead a Zwift series every usually Tuesday of the week. It's a virtual event. You can ride your indoor trainer. I ride mine. It's in my office next to me right now, almost every day. But I guarantee if you put the miles on now, you'll be a lot happier in July.
I've been watching how many miles Matt's been putting on, and I'm realizing that I'm not putting enough on. So I am going to up my game as well, just like everybody else needs to up their game, especially after looking harder at those first 2 days. That those hills they might sneak up on you. So.
You know what scared it into me was we did our route scouting trip last week, and seeing Corey and Matt come off of the Dubuque day, they were like, I didn't realize there were so many hills that day. So I was, that made me realize I needed to train some more than I had already planned.
Another question we got, which we kind of talked about, but when will the overnight towns open their host home for housing? When can we kind of fill that out online? Maybe Matt, you have the right answer for that, or?
Yeah, we asked them to basically start planning now. So from a planning perspective, we will not have those conversations for another month or so in these communities. So one of our first trips across the state we'll do here, I think in a couple of weeks with Hayden and the team, we'll be scouting all the campgrounds and securing all the spaces for people to camp. And then we start looking at housing. So they reach out to their community and ask for people to host you guys. So give them some time. A lot of this stuff's already happening behind the scenes. If you know somebody that's already in town, please just be respectful. If you have stayed at bigger buildings in some of these communities, like a church, we try to keep those off the table, because a lot of times the pastor will give away the church to a group of 25 people, and you could put 4 groups of 25 people in there too. So we say around April, that kind of conversation start opening up. So please give us some time to get these towns in a good spot, and then we'll connect you.
And on that note too, just the full route is going to be announced April 3rd as well. So just kind of give us till then, and then you'll have the whole entire route start to finish. Another question we got is, should someone ship their bike to the start town, or should they check it in their airport, in their in baggage? Which I'm not sure, maybe Hayden, you have a good answer for that one?
I was muted. There's a couple ways to do it. So you can ship your bike to the bike or Start Town. There's a few different companies that we work with that will have information with on our website that can partner with you and kind of get those logistics figured out. And then you can also partner with some of those charter services, even if you don't partner with them for the entire week. A lot of them will just offer a la carte transportation, and a lot of them will transport from airports. So that way you don't have to worry about flying with your bike to an airport and then getting a rental car and then drive into Ottawa. You can just get to Kansas City or get to Des Moines or get to St. Louis and then hop on with one of those charters, and they'll be able to take you to the Start Town. And then at the end of the week, you can also work with them to get transportation back to the airport, and you don't always have to fly out of that same airport. So just depending on what you're looking at and where you're coming from, how you're getting here, when you're leaving, all those kinds of things, look at what works best for you. Like I said, our website really has some good information on that charter page, as well as the FAQs. So just take a look at those, really put some thought to what makes the most sense for you. And there's all sorts of options out there. And if you're still struggling, reach out to one of us and we can try to figure out how to help you.
And with the packing question, Corey, one for you is someone asked what the best method for strapping a tent to their bike is to ride across the state. And I think it might be the baggage truck is the best.
Yeah, well, there's two different ways you can do that. There are people who will bag and carry their bags on their bikes with them. And that's fine. If you want all that extra weight on your bike, go for it. More power to you. If not, yeah, you can throw it on my baggage trucks. The stipulation is your bag has to weigh a total of 50 pounds or less. We weigh them on day one, the morning of day one, before you put them on your on the truck. We weigh it. If you have over 50 pounds, you're gonna have to start taking stuff out. But that is your full bag and tent, everything strapped to it. You can't have more than only one bag. We have seen people, bungee strap, ratchet strap, zip tie, all that, their tents to the outside of the bag. If you're going to do that, try to do it the best you possibly can. Those bags get crammed into those trucks pretty tight. And as the truck travels from town to town, they pack in. I mean, you can imagine a truck trailer shaking and all these bags just compacting down. Things get broken apart. I mean, not the stuff that's in it, but like a tent may get released from a bag. We try to set those off to the side so you can find your tents and things like that, but just try to secure them as the best you can, or try to get a bag that's big enough that you can fit your tent into the bag. Best case scenario, everything in the bag. With that said too, soft-sided bags. We do not accept hard side cases or totes or bags with rollers. We've seen an influx of those start happening over the years, and we've been a little lenient on it, but it's too dangerous for the boys to be carrying, the bag boys. And not only that, like I said, as they get packed in there, those hard-sided cases will ruin other bags. So it's very important that we stick to the rules of soft-sided bags.
When I was a civilian, I really liked to go to like an army surplus. A civilian rider, that is, not army. But I go to army surplus and they have really large duffel bags that would fit the bill. You can fit anything in those suckers, and they're pretty decent price. So that's my recommendation.
Yeah, and we see a lot of those, like hard canvas bags. Great ones for that. We do have a RAGBRAI duffel bag that is available in our shop. Just throwing that out there. I use it. It's oversized. You can get a smaller tent in there. It's a good one. So, yep.
Corey, another question for you is, how do I charge my phone on RAGBRAI?
You plug it into a plug-in. No. No. First you have to find one. Yeah. So, that is kind of the ultimate hide and go seek on the week of RAGBRAI is finding a plugin that isn't used. In the campgrounds, a lot of times it's few and far between for power outlets. I have seen some pretty nasty extension cords upon plug-in strips just loaded with stuff. You just got to find something. There's portable battery packs that you can take along. Be careful with some of those. We've had, those type of things overheat in bags with the sun and the heat. Your best case scenario is find places to charge along the way, like as you're stopping in some of those little pass-through towns. If you come upon a shelter and there's a free plug-in, plug your phone in, charge it up then. Charge it at the next town, and then keep going all day long until your phone's completely charged. Just don't leave it there and then have to circle back to go back to get it. I think I did that on pre-ride one year. So
I would recommend also, just as a pro tip, put your phone in airplane mode while you're riding if possible, because it'll save a lot of battery and you don't have to charge so much.
A few more questions before the end of our meeting. Erica, do you need to register as a non-rider?
Yes. So anybody who's coming into these communities, who doesn't live there, we ask to register as a non-rider. We have a week-long non-rider fee. It's pretty minimal. It doesn't increase a whole ton until the end of the year. So it's something we try to do to encourage. That way we have proper numbers for porta potties. We have proper numbers for camping, all of that stuff, because we are guests in these communities. The biggest thing registration numbers help us with is to tell these communities exactly what to expect. Last week, when the team was visiting towns, we told each town how many people were coming into their community and leaving. So we go by these numbers. That helps with food counts. It helps with everything. So that for us being a good guest, it's a good idea to tell them, or it helps us to tell them exactly how many people are coming. We always account for a little bit more because people will register up until the day of, but all the way until these last meetings that we'll have in July, we update those numbers every week. It's also a good idea from a safety perspective because your wristband number is registered to you. So my wristband number is registered to me and my emergency contact in case anything would happen. You get all of the same perks for like registered riders. If there's an emergency and you're at the meeting town and you need to use care ambulance, they'll take you. Any of that stuff, it also can help us connect. You can use Lost and Found, and then a bunch of other services. So I definitely recommend registering as a week-long non-rider.
Our final question of the night is for Matt. And Matt, do you have to register as a rider?
The answer is yes. We want you to register as a rider. Looking at the numbers, our job is to prepare these towns for what is coming. And there is a term called a bandit, which is a rider that does not register and they just show up. They may have no intentions of riding RAGBRAI, but they look at the day, it's short, it's beautiful. I'm going to call in sick and now ride my bike that day. So we need to know you're coming. We need to know you're coming early so we can help prepare these towns. Talking to the State Patrol, they have a calculator that basically tells them whatever we register, we could double that number, and that was what could show up on the ride. When you look at where the route is, central routes bring in a lot of extra people because it's easy to get to on and off the route, and we're going through truly proven communities that have great infrastructure. When you register for RAGBRAI, you're supporting the ride that supports the town. So each year, this team tries to find ways to give back more to these communities to help them be successful. One of the big changes this year, we're going to cover all the costs and produce all the maps for them. That's something that's kind of come out just as us finding ways to give back more. This team is from Iowa. We want to keep the money in Iowa and help these communities be successful. So by you registering helps us give back more to these communities. So please take the time, looking at the grand scheme of what it costs. It's pretty minimal to ride your bike across the state with all the support that RAGBRAI offers. If you're interested, get it in now. And then you have the ability, as Erica said earlier, to get a refund or, file for the claim to get reimbursed through that third party if something does happen. But we want you to register. We want you to show up and see us, and we want to be able to tell these towns that they can expect you.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Like we said, if you have any more questions, please reach out to us. Since our Q&A, we will be even happier to email you back. And I wanted to thank Evan again too from Chain Bike Reaction, but we appreciate it, and we will see you guys in a month on March 12th. So thank you, everyone. Also, we will post this online, and we will see you guys later. Thank you.